the call. He's referring to today's witness in the impeachment inquiry.
Army Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman, the top Ukraine expert on the National Security Council, listened in on the July phone call between President Trump and Ukraine President Zelensky. In his prepared opening statement, Vindman says he believed if Ukraine pursued an investigation into the energy company where Joe Biden's son sat on the board, Ukraine would lose bipartisan support, and the investigation would undermine all U.S. national security.
Up to 1.5 million people in California may have their electricity turned off today, and more intentional rolling blackouts meant to prevent more wildfires from down power lines. At least 57 homes have burned down in the largest fire in the state going on right now, the Kincaid Fire in Northern California. America's listening to Fox News.
Our family caring for yours. Those 5 words speak volumes about what you can expect at Twin Lakes Regional Medical Center. Compare your hometown hospital to virtually any across the state, and you will find we offer world-class technologies and comprehensive healthcare solutions far exceeding your expectations. But equally important to what we can do is how we do it. The hometown touch, the personal care. Set us apart and leave you on the road to recovery and restoration with a new sense of trust and confidence. Twin Lakes Regional Medical Center.
I'm Harold Miller. I met my wife Becky Miller in high school. We met in Grayson County, fell in love here, married here, raised our family here, and are watching our grandchildren grow up here on our family farm. Becky has spent years serving this community as a teacher, assistant principal, and community advocate. Becky would bring years of experience to Frankfort as your state legislator. Vote for the candidate who has lived here, worked here, built her life here, and whose future is here. Vote for my wife, Becky Miller, for state representative on November 5th.
Paid for by the committee to elect Becky Miller.
At Litchfield Pediatrics, we don't just love our community, we love yours too. Serving surrounding counties from Warren to Hardin, our growing network of physicians and professionally trained staff provide the best in pediatric care. Now offering new online appointment requests, available 24/7 and can be accessed by visiting our Facebook page. Give us a call at 270-259-5641 or stop by our new facility located at 901 Wallace Avenue. Litchfield Pediatrics, providing the best in pediatric care.
Good morning. This is Kurt Scott, minister at Caneyville Christian Church. Join us this week for Sunday School at 10, followed by worship services at 11 and 6. And now, a Minute of Vision with Dr. Roger Patterson.
Daddy, what's infinity? This is Roger Patterson with a Minute of Vision for Life. Carson, my first grade daughter, has been asking me a lot about the number infinity. Well, on January 24, 2016, Justin Chase of Capital OTC reported that the world's largest prime number had been discovered. You see, Curtis Cooper and his fellow researchers, while working on the GIMPS project, generating large prime numbers with supercomputers, were able to generate a prime number with 22,338,618 digits. Wow. I guess I'll have to share that with Carson the next time she asks me about infinity. But unless you're a researcher in the sciences, you probably are more concerned about day-to-day living. What I love about the book of Proverbs is that it informs our everyday. But even in that, I also see eternity. Take a look at this word in Proverbs 12:28. The way of the godly leads to life. In that path, there is no death. Friend, have you dealt with eternity?
You've been listening to Dr. Roger Patterson with a Minute of Vision at visionforlife.org.
Fox Sports Trending now.
In the NFL on Monday Night Football, the Steelers fell behind 14-0 in the first quarter at home against the winless Dolphins, then scored the next 27 unanswered points in a 27-14 win. Quarterback Mason Rudolph had a pair of touchdown passes. Running back James Conner rushed for 145 yards and a score. Pittsburgh's now won 18 straight Monday Night Football games at home. They improved to 3-4 this season. Miami drops to 0-7 on the year. NBA games of note, the Rockets beat the Thunder 116-112 behind 40 points from James Harden in his first game against his old team. Rockets guard Russell Westbrook had 21 points. He was one assist away from a triple-double. Clippers over the Hornets 111-96. Sixers down the Hawks 115-103. It was the Spurs beating the Trailblazers 113-110. And the Nuggets knock off the Kings 101-94. I'm Eddie Garcia.
We are one more.
K105 weather is brought to you by the 3 Grayson County locations of the Sicilian Bank.
Twin Lakes weather. A cloudy day ahead as highs only get into the 60s for this afternoon. Expecting some rain in the forecast starting tomorrow morning as a front approaches our region. Highs for your Wednesday only in the 60s. By Halloween, we're talking, yes, even more rain in our forecast. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Twana.
As soon as you are able, woman, I am willing to make the break that we are on the brink of. My cup is on the table, my love is feeling, waiting here for you to take and drink of. So if you're tired of the same old story, oh, turn some pages. I'll be here when you are ready to roll with the changes. Yeah, yeah.
This is In the Know for Tuesday, October 29th, the 302nd day of 2019. There are 63 days left in the year. Good morning, MB, guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station, 103.9 The Moose, live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app, on the SoundCloud or iTunes podcast, on Facebook Watch, on YouTube Live, and on Periscope. The hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. The penultimate debate between the gubernatorial candidates was held last night. We'll tell you about that. Firefighters battle a fire in Big Clifty last evening, and we have a chance for you to win with the water cooler question. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Last night, you brought us a snack. You brought us a snack size, what some would call a fun size kitakate,
Yes,
right?
I did.
And do you recall what you said when we were about halfway through the kitakate?
It's going to be better coming from you.
You said these aren't big enough. Right? You didn't like the fun size, the quote unquote fun size, and I agreed. But 85% of households give out the smaller fun size Halloween candy bars. That means 15% give out the full size. So if you ever run across one of those households that give away the full size bars, go early and go often.
Yes.
I remember my grandparents would go to a different stash when we would show up at their house. Like everybody else was getting fun size, but the big king size came out when we got there. It was like, the heavens opened up. It was fun. So
yeah, you do those special things for
absolutely, for your special guests, right? She's the pride of Pumpkin Center, the heiress to the great mini burger fortune. She's Vera Owing's arch nemesis and the professional bargain hunter's woman of the year. She's Misty Embry Thomas. Hey. How's Misty?
I'm well. How are you?
Well, I'm doing okay. I was thinking about us collectively. We're increasingly becoming households without trick-or-treaters in them, which means we don't have a source of candy to steal from. Right? Because that's one of the benefits of having younger kids is you get to steal their Halloween candy when they're not looking. Is there a go-to? Is there a one candy you want to steal the most?
I mean, outside of the Reese's we've established.
Right.
Okay, so I'll take anything chocolate. Eli likes the Crackle bar. I always like the Mr. Good bar with the peanuts in it.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, yeah, Mr. Good Bar. That's good.
Yeah.
The good stuff that you should steal, Hot Tamales, Twizzlers, Sour Patch Kids, Junior Mints, Rolos, M&M's, Snickers, Milky Way, Three Musketeers, Skittles, Gummy Bears, and Starburst.
Well, that's all the candies.
No, what gets left behind? Smarties, Airheads, Laffy Taffy, Sugar Babies, Bubblegum, Milk Duds, Nerds, and, of course, candy corn.
My favorite Halloween
nerds.
candy is the peanut butter kiss.
The PBK.
I love the peanut butter kisses and the orange and black wrappers with it's the nougat, or not nougat, but it's the chewy with the peanut butter in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't know why I love those. I always have.
All right. Well, if I see any of those on Thursday, I'll steal some for you.
Thank you.
Weather-wise today, the clouds will limit the afternoon highs to the 60s. Showers are going to increase into this evening. A cold front will pass through on Thursday. The cold air will be behind that front. It'll start relatively warm on Thursday, but it will be cold by Thursday night and into Friday morning, into the 30s by Friday morning. We'll have the cold air sticking around through the weekend with highs in 40s and 50s. It does look like most of the rain we're going to get on Thursday will be out of the way by the time that trick-or-treating and safe spot and trunk or treats and all that happens. So does that have an impact on the day? I do not know, but it looks like the precipitation that we're going to get is going to be in advance of the festivities. I just hope they just leave it alone. I don't like moving things around like that.
Well, I'm already getting questions. And I'm like, I know you all think
charge.
I make that decision.
In the
but
same way that we cancel
surprisingly, I
school.
don't.
You're in charge.
Right.
So whenever you decide, let us know.
Well, I've told them, just show up both nights. You're bound to hit somebody with candy.
There will be candy one of the two opportunities. We can't guarantee.
One will be a dry run, and one will be a score.
The two gubernatorial candidates that will be on the ballot 1 week from today, it's a week from today, polls will be open. Sat down with Renee Shaw on Kentucky Tonight last night for a statewide televised debate. I mentioned yesterday that it just amuses me, befuddles me, confuses me, makes me mad that these two candidates have debated. That was probably their fifth time last night.
It was.
On the grand stage, and none of them have been statewide until last night, but they've been available across most of the state. So, for instance, the one that was at UK, the Gray Television one, a few weeks ago, was in most of the Gray TV markets. It was in WIMT in Hazard. It was down in Western Kentucky. It was in Bowling Green. It was in Louisville. So most of the state was able to see it. Well, by now, all the zingers have been heard by both candidates. So when they throw a grenade at the other one and the other one fakes this surprise and goes, "How dare you say that?" We've all heard the lines, right? There's no drama anymore. We've seen this. But last night, they kind of got dialed up a little bit. They got off in a different direction. I think it was the best debate of the ones that I've seen because there was not an audience. And it enabled them just to go back and forth at the other one. No applause or boos or cheers that were distracting them. But there were some funny lines from the night. I did like how Andy Beshear, the governor accused him of trying to make up these stories to appear folksy. Like he talked about when he goes through Dawson Springs every year, and he ran into a guy who had changed his idea on expanded gaming. And then he had talked about his friend who was just outside the studio there who has to drive an Uber for her second job because she can't support herself as a teacher, which made me wonder, is she on the payroll? Because she's at every event that he's at. Is she driving his Uber? Does he take an Uber everywhere he goes?
He requests her.
Because everywhere he goes and speaks, she's there. My friend Susan over there, she has to drive an Uber. Well, how did she get all these places? If she wouldn't waste so much gas mileage, she might not have to drive for Uber. But anyway, he says, folksy, and he's just... the line of the night was about the agritech jobs. When he asked him, well, where are all these big jobs coming from? And Beshear says, well, you have to invent that GPS. And Governor Bevin said, it's already been invented. And so they get rattled and, they
Right.
take a punch and then they come back but the governor tripled down on the casino suicide rate. And in fact, he told everyone in the audience, he said, go to Google and search casino, hotel, suicide. And what he took issue is that Beshear the other night tried to say on a casino floor. And the governor never said casino floor. He said casino. So I did what the governor asked because let's be clear. I haven't believed him from the very beginning. I was like, there's no way someone commits suicide in the United States in a casino every day of the year. Well, I found a 2015 article from vivalvegas.com from 2015 that said there were 11,000 in just Las Vegas alone. In 2014, there were 1,100 deaths in hotels. 15% of them were suicides. That's 165 in Las Vegas alone 5 years ago. So if you add Atlantic City, if you add Foxwoods, if you add some of the other places where casinos are in our country now, you would only have to come up with 200 more to get the average of one a day. So is he close? Is he within the margin of error? You have to decide whether that's a big enough point of contention that you think he was spouting facts that aren't true, or whether he outkicked his coverage, or whatever it is. But it appears that he's much closer to his number than I would have given him credit for.
Well, the thing about suicide is unless you are working actively with suicide prevention or in that wheelhouse, typically the rule of thumb is for journalists, you don't cover a suicide. So we're not hearing it come through the newscast like we do car accidents that have claimed lives or active shooters or other things. So we're not daily abreast to the amount of numbers of people who are taking their lives. And then many times we don't know why they've taken their lives or where they've taken their lives. So I was like you. I was very skeptic, thinking, I think you may have said something off the cuff that's going to cause you problems.
You're trying to make a point and maybe went a little too far, and you couldn't, and it's hard to walk it back. But again, that's what we said yesterday. He doubled down on it on the debate that was on WLKY over the weekend, and then last night he tripled down on it and said, go Google it for yourself. And I was like, okay, I'm going to put an end to this. I'm going to go look. So again, 2014, 1,100 deaths in hotel rooms in Las Vegas alone. That's not all of Nevada. That was Las Vegas alone. And if you take 15% of them that they said were suicides, that's 165. So you're not that far away from making a case that, but again, you have to decide at this point.
Do your own research.
Do
your own research.
It got close to being a slap fight last night a couple of times. You know, they're closer than normal. They were almost elbow to elbow at that table, and they're tired of one another. They are extremely tired of one another. You can tell. Yeah. And I just still think it's funny how every time, Andy Bashir's campaign is, we won. It was top notch. It was, not everyone wins these debates. You got, it's.
Well, I mean, they can't come out. Nobody should come out and say, well, we lost that one. We'll try harder next time.
We'll do better next time.
I think we're out of topics to talk about, and I don't think they're going to change their mind on anything.
If you're the campaign, I don't think you should claim victory or admit defeat. Just let everybody else decide.
We showed up. Now you decide.
Yeah, you got your thumb on the scale. We know what you're doing. Hey, the al-Baghdadi the ISIS leader over the weekend, a Kentucky native, led the U.S. command that led to the death of the Islamic State group leader. Lieutenant General Scott Howell was born down in Trigg County at Cadiz. He led the raid on al-Baghdadi's command. Hal is the 15th commander of the Joint Special Operations Command and was in charge of carrying out the Syrian attack. U.S. Representative James Comer, representing that 1st District, congratulated Hal in a tweet on Sunday. I meant to mention that to you yesterday, and it got by me. A Big Clifty home was destroyed by a late-night fire Monday night at 11:40. The East Grayson and Litchfield Fire Departments responded to Milliner Road, that's off St. Paul Road in Big Clifty, to a structure fire. At the scene, firefighters found that only 3 walls remained standing as the wood frame structure was fully engulfed in flames. No one was living at the home, which also had no electricity running to it. State Police Post 4 in Elizabethtown are welcoming 3 new troopers to their ranks. Troopers Matt Johnson, Dylan Spencer, and John Goldsboro are among 48 cadets from an original 89-member class to graduate the training academy in Frankfort on Friday. The graduates consisted of a traditional class beginning May 12th and a law enforcement accelerated program class that joined August 4th. So congratulations to them. I hope that you don't have a unpleasant introduction meeting to them as they're out patrolling Post 4. Yeah. Hopefully you get to meet them at something good, not on the side of the road.
If they pull you over, I'm sure it's to say your driving was perfect. I just want to congratulate you for being
That's right.
a great driver.
A woman who was inside a Kentucky Kroger during a shooting last year is now suing the grocer and the man charged in the fatal attack. Denise Clark filed the class action lawsuit last week, saying witnessing and fleeing the shooting left her with physical, mental, and or emotional injuries. The lawsuit names Gregory Bush, who's pleaded not guilty to federal hate crime charges in the October slayings. And also the lawsuit echoes two other filers by the families of Jones and Stallard, which accused the store of having no policy to ensure armed patrons were licensed. No. We can't go there. Sue the shooter.
You go after
Yeah.
the shooter. I hope all of you all go after the shooter. I hope he never sees the light of day again. Okay? But the grocer was only doing business, and if they shut down, you're going to have a food desert.
Right. And they're operating within the constraints of the law.
Right.
Maybe are they being as cautious as they could? Well, no, they're not being as cautious as they could. But how cautious is required?
Is it their job to provide security for their shoppers? Are we in that type of world? I mean,
you would like to think not. Absolutely.
But I don't think it's their job to supply security for their shoppers. That's your municipality's job, is to supply security for citizens in general.
They're not responsible for your emotional distress.
No.
They didn't cause your emotional distress, and that's why, that's what's laughable. Go with the perpetrator. Go with the person who caused it. Don't go with the people who, were just there. 3 police officers in Kentucky have pleaded guilty to falsifying overtime records and arrest citations to justify the hours. Former LMPD officers Brian Stanfield, Todd Roadhouse, and Mark Final pled guilty to federal wire charges yesterday. Sentencing will be February 6th.
This is why we can't have nice things. Right.
That's why we can't have nice things. Police say a man has been killed in a house fire in western Kentucky. The state police said that a fire occurred early yesterday in Henderson. A female who was inside the residence reported the fire and was able to escape. 63-year-old Randy Hallmark of Henderson was pronounced dead at the scene. A Menifee County elementary school teacher has entered an offered plea after being accused of snorting white powder on a desk in front of students. Frowned upon. In an offered plea, the defendant maintains their innocence but admits there's enough evidence to convict at trial. 42-year-old Cherish Rednauer was sentenced to 12 months in jail.
What is happening? Right.
Cold medicine, I'm sure.
I mean, it is the way I like to take my NyQuil.
Triple Crown winner American Pharoah's first crop of foals that have gone on to racing careers will be the subject of an NBC documentary before next year's Kentucky Derby. The 1-hour Born to Run debuts on April 26th. American Pharoah became the first horse in 37 years to sweep the Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont in 2015. He ended his career with a victory in the Breeders' Cup Classic, which was NBC's highest-rated cup telecast in 20 years, and was retired to stud. Listen to this. In his first breeding season, Pharoah sired 162 offspring and earned about $32 million in stud fees.
Wow.
Go him.
162 is a lot.
I wonder if he knows what he's done.
Lynn Bowden, so long as he gets his oat bag, so long as he gets his oat bag, he doesn't.
I mean, I'm like, does he strut a little taller out in the field around all the other studs?
He's
Boundaries.
Almost afraid.
Guardrails.
He's not so focused on the 162 or the 32 million. Sure. I don't want to say he doesn't care, but I don't think he cares about the 162 or the 32 million. That's all I'm saying. Lynn Bowden Jr. has picked up another SEC honor, but winning remains a top priority. If you ask him, he likes the accolades, but he still would rather win football games. This week, for the first time in UK history, 3 players were honored on the same week by the SEC office. Punter Max Duffy was named SEC Special Teams Player of the Week. Calvin Taylor Jr. was the league's Defensive Lineman of the Week. And, of course, Lynn Bowden getting all the accolades for his performance on Saturday. The middle school Cougars opened their season yesterday with a pair of blowout wins against the visiting St. Mary's Angels of Whitesville. At Cougar Gym in the opener, the 7th grade Cougars got 12 points and 5 rebounds from Isaiah Petit, 11 points from Houston Brooks as they defeated the Angels 55-19. The 8th grade got scoring from 10 players, including 25 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 steals from Taden Logston in their 55-24 win. And a car and its 2 occupants ended up 8 feet underwater after a parking mishap led to the driver accelerating up a grassy berm, through a fence, and into a nearby swimming pool. Firefighters were able to determine, this is in Indianapolis, the firefighters were able to determine that the car's occupants had been attempting to park in one of the church's parking spaces when the driver hit the gas pedal, sending the car lurching up the berm and over a tree stump before crashing through a neighboring fence and into the swimming pool of a residence adjacent to the church. Was it the church parsonage? You got to tell me. Was it the church parsonage? Like, are you in the pastor's pool?
I need, right?
Pastor, I got to get baptized
I
right
can't
now.
wait any longer.
I couldn't wait. I got to get
I
in the
need
water
Jesus.
right now. We got to get to a break. We got plenty more on the way. Samara Hevron, candidate for 18th District State Representative, is standing by. We'll have a conversation with her coming up here on In the Know.
Hey, hon, heading to Bluegrass Cellular. Would you like anything?
Oh, I don't know. Just grab me one of whatever you're getting.
Oh, well, that's perfect. When you buy one premium smartphone, you get another free if it's under $700. That just simplifies things.
Oh, no. That complicates things. What are you getting?
The Samsung Galaxy S10. Then I can get you the S10e free since it's under $700.
I love Samsung Galaxy. Yes, I want that. No, wait, what else do they have?
Honey, you do this every time. You can never decide.
But what if I want something else?
They have everything, dear. Even the most premium brands. Just come with me. You might as well check out the entire selection since you never know what you want anyway.
Ha ha, Mr. Funny Guy. Hey, why don't you finish out the commercial while I grab my jacket? Wait, now do I want my leather jacket or my fuzzy one?
Restrictions apply. Visit Bluegrass Cellular online or in-store. Bluegrass Cellular. Your community expanded.
Did you know that experts estimate that 80 to 90% of disease is stress-related? Massage can help by lowering your blood pressure, increasing circulation, reducing fatigue, and increasing energy. Call Renee Smith at 270-505-5463 to set up your appointment for a therapeutic massage today. Renee also offers gift certificates and is conveniently located on Elizabethtown Road in Litchfield. 270-505-5463.
Grab your blanket and bring your friends and family to the Autumn Acoustic Concert at the Amphitheater in Litchfield. Headliner is American Idol finalist Elvie Shane from Caneyville from 5:30 until 8 o'clock on Saturday, November 2nd. Admission is free at the Autumn Acoustic Concert at the Amphitheater in Litchfield. Several acoustic artists will be playing that night, and all proceeds from concessions will go to Grayson County Shop with the Cop program. The Autumn Acoustic Series, November 2nd in Litchfield at the Amphitheater from 5:30 until 8 p.m.
Attention, the following may contain spontaneous reactions to something surprisingly delicious, also known as the vocal phenomenon, woo.
McDonald's new spicy barbecue glazed tenders and chicken sandwich.
Woo!
Tender, juicy, all white meat chicken.
Woo!
Covered in a smoky,
woo,
mouth-watering,
woo,
barbecue sauce. So delicious, one bite will make you go, admit it, you just wooed a little bit. McDonald's new spicy barbecue glazed tenders and chicken sandwich. Flavor that makes you go, woo! At participating McDonald's for a limited time.
A report says Google's trying to buy wearable company Fitbit. Google's been trying to make a dent in the wearable market for years with its Wear OS operating system, but it's struggled to compete with the Apple Watch. Google and Fitbit both declined to comment on the rumors. Uber continues to diversify away from just ride-sharing and is making a deep drive into financial services. Uber initially is trying to streamline the payment process for its drivers with Uber Wallet, so drivers can more easily track their earnings and spending history, as well as manage and move their money. Uber also plans to roll out a global debit card. The Mini Cooper is going electric. BMW is out with the all-electric Mini Cooper SE that will start at $30,000, and they say with federal and state tax credits, buyers might be able to scoop it up for as little as $18,000. The tiny car provides between 146 and 168 miles of range, which is not as good as the Tesla Model 3. However, the Cooper SE can manage 0 to 60 in 6.9 seconds. Tech Report, Larry Olson, NBC News Radio.
You are my treasure. You are my treasure. You are my treasure. Yeah, you are my treasure. You are my treasure. You are my treasure. Yeah, you are treasure.
Today is International Internet Day. Cause for a big celebration. I don't quite know what we would do without it at this point. I used to know what it was like to not have internet, but I no longer know that. Welcoming to the show is 18th District Republican candidate for state representative, Miss Samara Hevron. Good morning. Welcome back.
Good morning. I'm tickled to be here.
The reason I focused on back seemed like nearly, a decade ago. You were probably here as a student representing Grayson County High School DECA. And then like bookends, all of a sudden you're back as a candidate for office in Frankfort. So we're going to try and fill in the gaps over the next few minutes. I know you've you had a busy schedule. Thanks for stopping by. There are some people, I know we've known you your entire life since before you could walk, but there are some people that maybe don't know you. So kind of go back to your origins. You grew up in the eastern part of the county, right? Where did you go to elementary school?
Yeah, so I grew up on Wallace Avenue. I still live there today, and I went to H.W. Wilkie. I was a proud
you're a
bulldog.
Okay,
Yeah.
my apologies. I know some of your family is from the eastern half of the county in that area. So, but you're a Wilkie bulldog.
I am. My mom was a Clarkson Red Hawk, so I do have roots all over Grayson County.
Well, that's good. That means you're well rounded, and then a proud product of Grayson County High School. But then after you departed the campus of Grayson County High School, where did you go from there?
So yes, I am a proud product of public education. Right after high school, I went to WKU. I'm a proud Hilltopper as well.
A Hilltopper, and then the Hill took you. I know you ended up in Washington, D.C. Was that kind of a direct path, or did you have stops on the way between Western and Congressman Guthrie's office, or how did that kind of take place?
Yeah. So kind of how it got started, when I was a junior in high school, I got to go on the Warren RECC electric co-op tour. And so it's where they take a student the summer before senior year, and they take them to Washington, D.C. for a week, all expenses paid. And that really triggered my interest in Washington, D.C. It was a new site, and it was the farthest I'd been away from home without my mom. And so, very exciting times.
Yeah.
But so right after college, I was planning to go into advertising and graphic design. I was hoping to go to an ad agency, and it just didn't work out that way. And so I actually walked up to U.S. Congressman Guthrie at a town hall here in Litchfield. I was working at Whoop-De-Doo Designs at the time. And I walked up to him and I said, I would love to be an intern on Capitol Hill, not realizing that's not how that really works. But I'm always been the one to ask the tough questions. I'm not scared to ask questions like that. And of course, Congressman Guthrie, being the kindest congressman in Congress, he said, of course, I'd love to have you. And so that's kind of how my tour started in Washington, D.C.
Wow. What in Congressman Guthrie's office, because I'll get to Senator Paul's office in just a moment, of course, but what in Congressman Guthrie's office as an internship, what are the types of things that you were able to do there that sort of helped forge your ability to navigate Washington? What did you learn with Congressman Guthrie?
So I learned the importance of constituent services. While I was an intern, I got to help draft letters to constituents. I was able to give Capitol tours, talk to constituents on the phone, and that really taught me the importance of constituent services, to absolutely listen to every one of your constituents in your district. It's important to make sure that they feel like they're being served by their representative, no matter if they're Republican, Democrat, they didn't vote for you, they did vote for you. So that was the biggest thing I learned. But I also learned to stay true to your values. In Congressman Guthrie's office. He's a great example of a true leader for us.
About 4 years ago, I walked into Senator Paul's office on a late February morning or afternoon. I don't recall now. But I opened the door and I walked in, and there you stood in Senator Paul's office. And I'm like, hey, I know you. I didn't realize that you had made the move over. What led to the move? I guess the internship came to an end, and you said, "Hey, I love the Kentucky delegation. And I want to stay involved." But what prompted the transition to Senator Paul's office?
Truly the end of my internship. It was my last day there. I had not got a job offer yet, so I was like, okay, I'm moving back home, which is okay. It wasn't really what I was planning, but this is fine. And my last day there, I got an interview with Senator Paul's office, and I got the job. My hard work ethic and just the reputation I built in Washington, D.C. really helped me be able to get new experiences like that. A lot of people would put themselves on the line for me to help me.
I know one of the things that you did in Senator Paul's office, which I know maybe to an outsider doesn't sound like a big deal, but you were kind of the boss of the schedule.
Yeah.
So to speak. The senators are required to be lots of places and do lots of things, and there are lots of people that want attention. How challenging was that to sort of organize, keep everybody on track and on the same page, literally on the same page of the schedule?
It had its ups and downs, but truly it made me the person I am today. I really learned the importance of, once again, it's all about helping your constituents, and that's what I did. I was able to schedule meetings with Senator Paul and his constituents in Washington, D.C., and that gave me the opportunity to meet people across the Commonwealth in all 120 counties. I really got to listen firsthand of issues that people were facing and concerns that they had around the Commonwealth.
When you came home, we'll say coming home to the Commonwealth, the you found your way to state government and State Treasurer Allison Ball's office, where, when I look at your trajectory, it's like every stop along the way, your responsibilities and the expectations of you get a little bit higher. But what were you responsible for in the state treasurer's office?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I was her director of initiatives. So I was in charge of unclaimed property, transparency, stable Kentucky, and financial literacy.
Okay. And you're along the way, what did you learn in state government? What did you learn with Treasurer Ball that was maybe different than what you learned at the federal level?
That's another great question. I really learned once again to stay true to my values. In Washington, D.C. or in Frankfurt, it's really easy to kind of sway with what's going on, whether it's your party or it's, the most popular topic. And it's important to stay true to what you believe. I also learned the importance of, once again, listening to constituents. I was able to travel across the Commonwealth and hear people and their concerns about financial literacy, about unclaimed property, about government and transparency and accountability. I also had the opportunity to work with the Kentucky General Assembly while at the state treasury. I got to testify in front of committees, work on legislation, and meet with a lot of members of the General Assembly to talk about issues.
I know you've heard it, so it's no surprise to you, but you'll have some people who are going to say, well, she lives in Frankfurt. She doesn't live in Litchfield. She's a Frankfurt resident. She's not a Grayson County resident. I know you're kind of adamant about attempting to explain that away. How do you account for that? How do you appease people that have that concern?
Yeah. So my residency has always been in Litchfield. The beauty of being a public servant to your state, just like anybody that lives in Washington, D.C., and it might be from Kentucky or in Frankfurt, you're able to use reciprocity. There's actually Kentucky law that protects me from that. And so basically what it says is that since I'm an appointed member of Treasurer Ball's staff, I'm a public servant, I can keep residency in Grayson County and work in Frankfurt. And I do have an apartment in Frankfurt because that is a very long drive. That's an hour and 45-minute drive. Right. But I split my time, and most of my time is spent in Litchfield. I'm here every weekend, and I'm here most times during the week, too.
Okay. Obviously, so we've kind of laid out your path from Congressman Guthrie to Senator Paul to Treasurer Ball, which rhymes now that I think about it. When did your ambitions for candidacy sort of come into view? Is it a recent thing with the vacation of this seat, or is it something you've long known that you wanted to do?
It's always been in the back of my mind of maybe that would be something I'm interested to do. Honestly, I've really just followed the path that God has led me down, and I just keep riding that wave is what I always say. 5 weeks ago, this was not on top of my mind thinking, I'm going to run for state representative someday.
Right.
But I started, as soon as Representative Moore resigned, I started getting calls. I got a call and they said, Representative Moore resigned. We need to find a strong leader to run. And I said, okay, well, let's get to it. My first thought wasn't me at all until I started getting calls thinking, you should really consider this.
Right.
And so I did, because I thought, what time in my life am I going to have this opportunity again? And, I thought maybe 10 years from now, 15 years from now, but God always has bigger plans. And here we are today.
Well, and by your own admission, should you be successful, you realize you're going to be the youngest woman elected to the legislature in Kentucky history. Is that right?
Yes, I am. And what an honor that is. And how incredible that Grayson County and Hardin County has that chance to elect that person.
Talk to me a little bit about the office. Your style as you've sort of envisioned it as a legislator. Do you have a style defined yet? Do you have ambitions of say, this is how I want to be as a legislator?
Absolutely. That's a big thought I've been having. And I really want to be someone that listens. I want to be able to listen. I want you to feel like I'm your friend, that you can have conversations to me, whether we've spoken or not. I want you to be able to feel that I'm always going to represent your best interest. And so that's the type of legislator I want to be. I want to be someone that listens with open ears and an open mind. Because a lot of times people get in there and already have this agenda set of what they want to do and what they plan to do. I don't have an agenda set. And I really look forward just to helping the constituents of the 18th district to see what their issues are.
Over the last 60, 90 days, those of us who try to stay on top of issues and things that are happening in Frankfurt, we start hearing about pre-filing of legislation. We hear about budgetary issues. Obviously, it's a budget session coming up. If whoever is successful for winning this seat a week from today, you're talking about a 1 year, certainly of a 1 year sprint finish of this term, but it's a very important year for this session. Are there other than the budget, what are the overarching themes of the 2020 session that you see on the horizon that are the most important?
Absolutely. I think economic development, workforce development will continue to be a big issue in the 2020 session, as well as the pension. That's going to be a big answer that we've got to be able to talk about. Some other things that have come up, medical marijuana, gambling, sports gambling, things like that. So there's going to be a lot of big issues coming up. And what's important, I think, is electing someone that already knows how the Kentucky General Assembly works. We're going to have someone that's going to be able to start on day one. And I think that's something that I bring to the table.
How would you list your differences, what I call unique core differentiators? How are you different than your opponent?
Yeah. I think my experience, everyone's got different experience, but, I've dedicated my entire career to being a public servant for the Commonwealth. I've always been able to listen to people. I've always been able to have, I feel like, strong leadership and go into something with an open mind. I think what sets me apart is being able to start on day one in January when the 2020 session comes up. I already have the relationships. I've worked my entire career to be able to meet people and to talk to people, and I've always been so proud of being from the 18th district.
Take 30 seconds and court the voters. We like to extend the invitation, so the floor is yours to tell voters what they need to know in advance of 1 week from today. Go ahead.
My name is Samara Heverin, and I would be honored to be your next state representative. I'm the Republican running, and it would be just an honor to be your voice in Frankfort. Please get out and vote. This is a very important election in our Commonwealth. Let's put Heverin in the House, and let's make November red.
Very good. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for coming full circle, right? We were here a decade ago and back again today. I think it was probably this same week, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
As I recall, it was. So thanks for stopping by. That's Samara Heverin, the 18th District Republican candidate for the state legislature. We got to get to a break. Today's water cooler question, your chance to win, is coming up here on In the Know.
For service that satisfies, Big O Tires of Elizabethtown, Radcliffe, Litchfield, and Hardinsburg are the names you can trust. At Big O Tires, there's a mechanic on duty with qualified service on shocks, struts, brakes, and more. Save on the area's best selection of Big O tires and major brand tires. Brands like Michelin, Goodrich, Goodyear, and Cooper. Big O Tires offers express lane service. Big O Tires is locally owned and operated with over 400 stores in America. For the greatest tires with the greatest prices, go to Big O Tires for outstanding service specials. Listen to these deals.
$10 off any Extreme battery and $10 off full synthetic oil change. $15 off alignment and buy one, get one wiper blades.
$50 off brakes, $20 off a flush kit, and $50 off a set of Big O brand tires. There's no credit check and payments are available. $50 down and drive away today at Big O Tires. The team you trust in Elizabethtown, Radcliffe, Litchfield, and Hardinsburg.
It's brilliant, cooler, and comfortable. Those sentiments can refer to many things, like fall, one of my favorite times of year, or it could refer to AutoSmart's inventory. It is brilliant to offer high-quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs with customized payment plans. AutoSmart's inventory is also cool because the most popular models and even hard-to-find makes and models can be found at the local dealership. Even if it's not on a lot right now, the buying team can find exactly what you're looking for. Purchasing a car at AutoSmart is comfortable too. No pressure. Plus, you work directly with an understanding team. If you've experienced decline in your credit score, you can still get into a vehicle at a payment you can afford. This autumn, the leaves aren't the only things that are falling, so are prices. At AutoSmart on South Main Street in Litchfield at 270-287-0278 and online at autosmart1.com.
This election is about more than party. It is about the people of Grayson and Hardin counties and electing the person who has the experience to best represent them in Frankfort. I am Becky Miller, and I have that experience. I have spent my life here in the 18th District and will bring a lifetime of experience to the position. As a wife, mother, grandmother, teacher, administrator, community advocate, and a 43-year resident of Grayson County with deep family roots in Hardin County, I am ready to represent you. My experiences are your experiences. I will take these experiences with me as your state legislator and be your voice in Frankfort. I humbly ask for your vote for state representative.
Vote for the experienced candidate on November 5th. Vote Becky Miller for state representative. Paid for by the committee to elect Becky Miller.
We asked voters of the 46th Judicial District why they're voting for Bradley Butler for district judge.
I really appreciate the job he's done.
Seems to me he'll be firm but fair.
I think he's very fair.
I've always found him to be a straight shooter.
He's an honest man.
I think he'll treat everyone fairly.
I'm Bradley Butler. I appreciate your support and confidence that I will be firm but fair. I look forward to serving as your next district judge.
Paid for by Bradley S. Butler for district judge. Dan Drain, treasurer.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
A cloudy day ahead with highs only getting into the 60s this afternoon. Tonight, we fall down into the upper 40s and low 50s. Tomorrow, an approaching front brings widespread rain to our area. Highs on your Wednesday still remaining in the 60s. From the Wave 3 News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
One day with you is all that it takes, and yes, to bring me back again. I fall. I'm always careless, never concerned where I land.
Did you know the human body contains 59,650 miles of blood vessels?
How many?
59,650. I find that to be impossible.
No, there's no way. There's no way.
Well, what about like the tallest banker you know? Does he have more than 59,000?
I would say he's only running on 12,000 miles of blood vessel,
think
right?
I still think that's high.
No.
59,650?
I wouldn't give you 590 miles of blood vessels.
Like, I wouldn't have guessed even, I'm with you, like 600 miles. I wouldn't have guessed that. Here's today's water cooler question. It's your chance to win. If you've not won in the last 30 days and you're 18 years of age or older, you can call 270-259-6000. Up for grabs today is a basket of candy from the Tootsie Roll. What?
And that's all. Just candy.
Just candy.
Yes, the tickets are expired.
Okay. Tootsie Roll basket candy plus a pat on the back for doing such a great job.
Well, I did go in and fill the baskets fuller today. So you're getting extra candy than the other winners have received.
You went heavy?
Because our tickets, they decided to close down a weekend early instead of this coming weekend. So,
well, all right. 270-259-6000, 270-259-6000. In a new Halloween poll, parents said Reese's Peanut Butter Cups are their favorite treats to steal from their kids. Does that sound familiar? Mm-hmm. We just talked about that at the top of the show. What was second? So Reese's Peanut Butter Cups get stolen first. What is the second most stolen Halloween candy from your kids' baskets? 270-259-6000. What is the second most stolen candy from your kids' Halloween baskets? You think you know the answer?
I do.
I think you do too.
Gonna check me?
270-259-6000. Oh, good. I was like, I hope your camera's not on.
No, it's not on.
New at the movie theater today. No, new at the Blockbuster today. I don't know how you say this. Luce, L-U-C-E, Luce? I don't know. The married couple is forced to reckon with their idealized image of their son, adopted from war-torn Eritrea. What is this nonsense? Is this a real movie? Somebody's pranking me. This is not a real movie.
I don't even understand what
you
just
don't
read.
even. I don't even understand the description, and I don't know the title. L-U-C-E. 10 minutes gone. Them that follow, and Mike Wallace is here. Sounds riveting. Can we just get Star Wars already? Can Star Wars just come out?
Right.
John Legend is revamping remember I told you John Legend and Kelly Clarkson were teaming up for a Christmas song?
You did.
It's Baby, It's Cold Outside.
Ah.
Good for them.
Uh-huh.
We need more of that. I don't want any more of that nonsense from last year. Oh, that's offensive.
Yeah, your Did You Know is correct.
It is?
Yes.
I felt like it was. I got it from a reliable source.
59,000 miles of blood
It
vessel.
actually could be more, stretched end to end.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just that stretchy.
By the way, will somebody do me a favor and tell Blake to hang on? Blake's caught up in the rat race of the
Sorry,
contestants.
Blake.
Hang tight, Blake.
Just tell Blake to sit still. Let's go to the phones. Mary gets the first shot. Good morning, Mary. What's the second most stolen Halloween candy from your kids' candy basket?
Tootsie Rolls.
Tootsie Rolls
is a solid guess.
Not what we're looking for. Keep trying. Let's go to Linda. What is it, Linda?
Is it Lollipop?
It is not lollipops. Let's go to Peggy. What's your guess, Peggy?
Twix.
Twix is
it's a good one.
delicious, but not correct. Keep trying. Let's go to Melissa. Melissa, what's your guess?
M&M's.
M&M's is in and ends. No one knows. Let's go to Wanda. What is it, Wanda?
Is it Three Musketeers?
That is not what we're looking for. Keep trying. Should I ask Blake?
Well, so here's the thing. Blake is hanging tight, but I do think he knows the answer.
Peggy, what's your guess, Peggy?
Is it Kit Kat?
It is Kit Kate.
All right.
Kit Kate is the correct answer. Yep, Kit Kat. So see, I basically gave away the answer at the top of the show, talking about our snacks from last night. Hold on, Peggy. Gonna get some information from you. Enjoy your Halloween and your Halloween basket. What else do you need to know? That's all you need to know. We got to get to a break. We'll come back, finish it up for the morning here on In the Know.
Today, I'd like to tell you about a lesson my mom taught me that I'll never forget. Hi, I'm Jim Daly with Focus on the Family. As a 6-year-old, I was really afraid of being lost. My dad walked out on us, so I always felt like I needed to know where my mom was. It gave me a sense of security. One day at the store, I wanted to look for a toy, and Mom assured me she'd still be in the produce section when I was done. On my way back, I couldn't believe my eyes. My mom was in a different aisle. She had abandoned me. Now, I'm not proud of this, but I decided I needed to teach her a lesson. So I sprinted up behind her and I planted a karate chop right between her shoulder blades. Thud! Staggering, she turned around to face me. And that's when I knew I was in big trouble. It wasn't my mother. It was a woman dressed in the same outfit. I ran to the produce section where I found my mom, and through my tears I explained what had happened. She marched me right back to the end of the aisle and motioned with her hand for me to go down and apologize. I can't say the woman forgave me, but I did learn a valuable lesson that day that I'll never forget, and I'm careful to teach my boys. When you make a mistake, you need to immediately own it, apologize, and try to make things right. I've also taught them another non-negotiable. You never karate chop your mother. To help your kids thrive, visit FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
Attention, the following may contain spontaneous reactions to something surprisingly delicious, also known as the vocal phenomenon, woo.
McDonald's new spicy barbecue glazed tenders and chicken sandwich.
Woo!
Tender, juicy, all white meat chicken.
Woo!
Covered in a smoky,
Woo!
mouth-watering,
Woo!
barbecue sauce. So delicious, one bite will make you go, admit it, you just wooed a little bit. McDonald's new spicy barbecue glazed tenders and chicken sandwich. Flavor that makes you go,
Woo!
At participating McDonald's for a limited time.
Grab your blanket and bring your friends and family to the Autumn Acoustic Concert at the Amphitheater in Litchfield. Headliners, American Idol finalist Elvie Shane from Caneyville, from 5:30 until 8 o'clock on Saturday, November 2nd. Admission is free at the Autumn Acoustic Concert at the Amphitheater in Litchfield. Several acoustic artists will be playing that night, and all proceeds from concessions will go to Grayson County Shop with the Cop program. The Autumn Acoustic Series, November 2nd in Litchfield at the Amphitheater from 5:30 until 8 p.m.
On November 5th, you get to choose your next district judge. My name is Beth Ratley, and I'm a candidate for district judge. I'm pursuing a brighter future for our children. Experience matters. I've been an attorney for 17 years, and for 10 years, I've made tough decisions every day as your divorce commissioner. I would be honored to serve this community as your next district judge. I promise to be honest, fair, and hardworking, and I respectfully ask for your vote on November 5th, 2019. Paid for by Beth Ratley, candidate for district judge.
Blake Stinson is the general manager at AutoSmart on South Main Street in Litchfield. Good morning, Blake. How are you?
I'm good. How about you guys?
Doing very well. Did you know the answer to that question was Kit Kat?
I did message Christy. I said Snickers, but then I said if it's not Snickers, it's Kit Kat.
Is it because you're a connoisseur of Kit Kat and Snickers, or you just knew that was the answer?
Definitely of Snickers. Snickers is my all-time favorite candy.
Hey, do you have your Halloween costume picked out yet?
Not yet. I'm just going to go as my handsome self, I guess.
Well, that will really impress everyone without a doubt.
There you go.
What's going on at the dealership this week? You got a Big Red's Deal of the Week?
Absolutely. We've got 3 days left of our spooktacular sales event, so we've got a lot of savings going on the last 3 days. Anybody that purchases, we're giving away prizes, and also starting in November, anybody that purchases, we're going to give $100 towards your holiday meal. So come check us out.
That sounds good. Tell me about something on the lot I need to know about.
I've got a 2017 Nissan Maxima. We just got it in. New tires, drives great. It's got navigation, loaded up for only $16,250.
A 2017, you say Maxima?
Nissan Maxima.
And what color is it?
It's like a charcoal gray.
Oh, that sounds good. Nice and sleek. 270-287-0278. What's the website address?
It's Autosmart1.com.
We'll talk to you again later in the week, Blake. Thank you so much. That's Blake Stinson. He's the general manager at AutoSmart on South Main Street in Litchfield.
Michael Adams for Secretary of State, our chief elections official. The only candidate with election experience, Michael Adams supports requiring a photo ID to vote. Heather French Henry is against photo ID. Adams wants ballots in English only. Henry supports ballots in foreign languages. Adams is an experienced election attorney. Henry's only experience is chairing Hillary's campaign, and she's soft on corruption, taking money from liberals tied to scandal. Only Michael Adams will clean up the Secretary of State's office, clean up our voter rolls, and clean up vote fraud. A-rated by the NRA, endorsed by Kentucky Right to Life, Michael Adams is the clear choice. While Henry defends Allison Lundergan Grimes even after the state police raided her office, Adams will restore integrity in our elections. Vote for Michael Adams on November 5th. He'll make it easy to vote and hard to cheat.
Paid for by Citizens for Adams.
Chase them down a hoodoo there. On the bayou. On the bayou. On the bayou.
MB's Point to Ponder for today. What should I be for Halloween?
I've got some ideas.
You do?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Any that you're going to share?
Do you want me to share? You always fuss I give my good ideas away on air.
I don't know. I mean, I'm probably not going to do it.
I think you might. You might like this one.
I think it's too late to pull it together.
You think it's too late to pull it together?
No, I work best under pressure.
No, wait a minute. Right, well, I want to be clear. You work best under pressure, or you just work most under pressure?
That's a truer statement. That is a much truer statement.
I mean,
which means I work best at all times.
The reason I was trying to, because I find myself works most under pressure. I don't know that I'm best under pressure. I just happen to be most.
When the pressure's lifted is usually when I just collapse and go to sleep.
Got you. On TV tonight, we will have Game 6 of the World Series. It's over, folks.
Thank goodness.
Well, no, it's not over. I mean, it might as well be over. I think Houston will most likely win tonight in Game 6, and if they don't, they'll win Game 7 tomorrow night. When they spotted the Nats 2 games and then went to Washington and took all 3 games, the momentum completely swung the other way. Verlander not going to lose again. So it's did you all see any of the footage of the ladies who were supporting Breast Cancer Awareness Month at the ballgame the other night?
Oh, no. Were they shirtless?
On national television, yeah. They sure were.
Did they have pink body paint on or anything?
No.
Just shirtless?
Yep. They had a shirt. They just the shirt elevated while the camera was behind Garrett Cole getting ready to pitch, and you.
Is that allowed? Can you show your tatas?
No, it's not allowed.
You can
In
be
fact,
arrested for indecent exposure.
They've been sent letters. They're banned from any Major League Baseball sporting event forever.
It's a society in general, so.
Yeah, it's more of a publicity stunt as much as anything. But what I noticed, I couldn't help but notice the way that Fox shot it. Of course, you can see video out there that it's obscured. You don't have to see the uncensored video, but you get an idea of what happened. But oddly enough, the top of the shot didn't show their identities, didn't show their faces. And I thought, that's weird that, did they have to move to get into that spot? Did Fox, because it's not like the camera moved. It's just weird how it all lined up. I'm maybe thinking there's a conspiracy involved at some level, somehow.
Probably.
And on HBO, an unprecedented glimpse into the world of spinal cord injuries called Any One of Us. That's on HBO. Today's highlight in history, this date in 2012, Superstorm Sandy slammed ashore in New Jersey and slowly marched inland. In 1923, the Republic of Turkey was proclaimed. In 1957, former MGM studio boss Louis Mayer died in Los Angeles at age 75. John Mayer's great-grandpappy. That's not true. I'm just completely making that up. 1998, Senator John Glenn, at age 77, roared back into space aboard the Space Shuttle Discovery. Birthdays today. Richard Dreyfuss is 72. Kate Jackson is 71. She's one of Charlie's Angels. Dan Castellaneta is 62 today. The voice of Homer Simpson. Ooh. Randy Jackson from the Jackson 5, not Pitchy Dog, is 58 today. Michael Jackson's brother, Randy, 58. Winona Ryder is 48. Tracy Ellis Ross is 47. Gone but not forgotten. Nothing really worth mentioning. See if we can find a chart topper. Let's go to 1966. The Monkees, number one. Again.
Till the morning brings my train and I must go. And I don't.
Were they on before or after Little House on the Prairie in the afternoons? Was it Little House on the Prairie and then the Monkees came on? I think so. I think that's right. It just.
I don't know. I think it replaced Different Strokes, which came on at 3 and Little House came on at 4. So it was Different Strokes. Then.
Are you sure it wasn't What's Happening? Because Different Strokes was still on in prime time. Not with Rerun and Raj and Dee Dee and Shirley?
Not when I was getting off the bus. I mean, I know the show, but... Yeah.
What's happening? Neil Sedaka, 1975. All right, Miss 1979. Have you ever heard the show What's Happening?
I've never watched it. I know of it, but I would have a hard time recognizing.
You wouldn't recognize it from my rendition of the theme?
I mean, I could try, but
it's spot on.
It's pretty close. Chicago.
The Chicago I love.
1984. After they dropped the Transit Authority. That's got to be one of the best Chicago songs.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean,
I like that. Stay the Night. Along Comes a Woman. Like that hoe.
Yeah, that album is good, but across the board, like just collectively, if you put all of it together and ask, it's
Look Away. I think most people would say Look Away.
Yeah, 1989, I think.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Why are you talking over this?
As long as the stars are burning, as long as your dreams are burning, you better believe it that I would do anything for love.
1993.
I'll be there seal a pact.
All 12 minutes of it.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it's
but I love
awesome,
meatloaf. Oh, but I won't do that. Like, what is that? Did anybody find out what meatloaf wouldn't do?
We had meatloaf on Sunday. Does that count?
It was pretty good.
Keith Urban. From the movie How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
When you put your arms around me, you let me know there's nothing in this world I can't do.
Starring Kate Hudson. She's a real bow wow.
Yeah, she really is. It's hard.
Not good.
She's not good, no.
Adele.
Never mind, I'll find someone like
8 years ago today.
you. I wish nothing but the best of you too. Don't forget me, I think I'll remember you say sometimes it lasts.
Did I forget anything, ladies? Anything needs to be added on? All right, MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Until you value yourself, you won't value your time. Until you value your time, you will not do anything with it. Until you value yourself, you won't value your time. Until you value your time, you will not do anything with it. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Misty Thomas, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powered by Heritage Media of Kentucky, WKHG Litchfield, Kentucky, USA, 104.9 FM, the Twin Lakes Best Mix, K105. Your news starts now.